What's up? I want to talk about my first bodybuilding competition and the reason why I even decided to get into it. First, we're going to start off just like most people that compete. They normally play the sport in middle school, high school, college, or at least in high school. So I kind of already had my foundation built, and I was always in love or intrigued with working out for some odd reason. Oh yeah, probably because I was fat as hell as a kid. But like I said, I went through high school and college, and I was so used to working out and training, for sports that it was already instilled in me. Once I left college and started working, I really didn't have a reason to work out, or not necessarily a reason to work out, a reason to train and be consistent and focus on training on a regular basis and focus on eating a certain type of diet. So I was always heavier, 5'8", normally kept it around 215, 220 when I was in college. Got into the real world, started working, got into a serious relationship, and really didn't feel the need to work out. But when you have a body type like mine that has a extremely slow metabolism, and you think that you could eat like the regular person or the average person, that 220, 215 went to 270 real quick. It felt like it was overnight. So once I realized how bad it had gotten, I started getting back in the gym, or trying to get back in the gym, and still trying to do the same thing that I did in school, which wasn't necessary, and I wasn't getting any results. And then I heard from one of my homeboys from college, shout out my boy David Sanders. He had did his first competition, and he was one of those guys that he worked out, but he was a little bit on the heavier side too. So when I saw that he was able to do it, or when I went back to Orangeburg and I saw him, I saw how different he looked. That in itself was a lot of motivation. I like, damn, if this dude could do it, hell, I could probably do it too. So let me find out how he went about doing this. So he gave me his protocol as far as diet and workout, cardio regimen and everything. And from that day on, I went and tried it. And once I started seeing the results from it, I picked out my first show because I figured, okay, now I have a reason to actually train. And this is one reason why I tell a lot of people you got to find out your reasoning on why you want to do something. But as far as bodybuilding or working out or wanting to lose weight, you have to find out your reasoning, because that reasoning is going to give you, when you get to those late nights and those cravings hitting, you just want to say, fuck it, give in, fuck this shit, it ain't worth it. That reason why you got started is going to help you get through it. And if it's not a legitimate reason and it's not self-fulfilling, then there's no reason to do it, because you're not going to stick to it, because the reason isn't that serious. But like I said, I picked out a show that I wanted to do. By the time I picked out the show that I wanted to do, I might have been roughly back down to 225, 220, which was still a lot better than the 270 plus that I was at. It was disgusting, 270 plus. So I'm seeing good results. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see shit that I ain't never seen before. So I decided to do a show in May of 2009, the Palmetto Cup. Wasn't able to do it because, hell, I got sick. I was backed up because I was trying to do a keto diet and wasn't taking in enough fiber and shit, and I didn't shit for about a week. Motherfucking got sick and didn't know what the hell it was. So that was my first time experiencing that. So I kind of saw that as a blessing, because that was a non-tested show and I was a novice, and this was my first competition I was going to compete in. And oh yeah, the first competition that I competed in was actually the first competition I even witnessed, in person. So, that's interesting in itself, because a lot of things I had to learn off of YouTube, because nobody really wanted to help me. There was a bodybuilder in my home gym, and he wanted to charge me for everything. I was like, fuck it. You got YouTube. YouTube even back then could show you how to do damn near anything. So I watched YouTube, learned about the different mandatory poses, the posing routines and shit. And I practiced on it every day. Didn't know what the hell I was getting into, but I was determined. So once I got sick in May of 2009, I decided, okay, this will give me more time to get ready for the drug tested or quote unquote natural bodybuilding show that was in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So I went from that 270 in the beginning to my competition weight being 169. And like I said in another video, that I didn't give a shit about being big. I just wanted to be shredded as possible. So I just focused on losing weight. Didn't care about the protein intake, none of that shit. So I looked pretty good for that first show. And since it was a tested show, I wanted my first competition to be a positive experience. So I ended up winning the novice in that show, and I won the open in that show, the Carolina Supernatural. And from that point on, like everybody say, once you do that first one, you get the bug, especially if you were successful with the first one. So that was my first experience. I didn't know anything about dieting, but I spent every day online, whether I was supposed to be working or even if I was with my family. I was more focused on trying to learn everything about dieting. And I had to learn a lot of things about dieting through trial and error. I did a keto diet, at least in my version of keto diet. Hell, I was eating fried chicken, scrambled eggs, and fried anything, at that point, because I thought that's what a keto diet was all about. And it still worked out. I was pretty shredded at 169. It didn't really look like a 169 once I stepped on stage. But from that point on, like I said, I got the bug for it, and I was living that shit, loving it. And one thing that it gave me a reason. I'm not gonna say a reason to live, but something else outside of work, or something that was completely mine, that I didn't have to share with anybody else. Bodybuilding is an individual sport, but you have to train for it hard, and you got to live through the training just like you would do any other sport, if not more. So that gave me a reason every day to go hit the gym, every day to focus on my supplementation, my diet, and everything. It was a goal every day that when I woke up. So that's the reason why I got into it, because I realized that, hell, when I was younger or when I was in school, I hit the gym all the time because I was training for something. So I started training for something, and here we are today. The thing is, what I try to tell a lot of people is, when you're going through your first competition, you got to keep things simple. Don't try to follow what you see pro bodybuilders do or more experienced bodybuilders do, because hell, it ain't gonna work for you that first time. I'm not gonna say lucked up. I was blessed to be able to win my first show. And then there was 2010, the next year, when I did my first NPC show, National Physique Committee. The 2010 Palmetto Cup, was I won the overall in the juniors and placed third in my open class, and that open class was about 15 deep, and I was still drug free at that point in time. So I was able to pat myself on the back with that one. Next year got even better. 2011, came back, did the same show, and one surprisingly dropped down to a middleweight. I don't know how the hell that happened, but won the middleweight class and the overall in the open. And 2014 did the Upstate Classic. Looked the best that I ever did, but hell, I went up against somebody even better and came in second place. So now I'm prepping for, I think it's called the Tournament of Champions in Manning, South Carolina. About 10 weeks out from it now. So I took about 4 years off from competing and shit, and really gave myself a break, and then got back into the same predicament as I did earlier, whereas I didn't want to work out. So hell, I had to find another reason to work out, which was bodybuilding again. So here we are, sitting at about 217, 10 weeks out. I'm going through a carb depletion phase right now. Older, I'm 33 right now, so my body responding a little bit different than it did in the past. And that's where the coming in of learning your body and having to go through trial and error. And once you see that something else doesn't work, you're able to jump to another thing because you done figured out your body. No coach or quote-unquote guru should be able to know your body better than you. My thing is, hell, you should be able to. It's a plus to have a coach or somebody to help you, but you shouldn't be able to do it yourself. You shouldn't have to pay somebody to get you ready for a competition, especially if you did it for years. Hell, you should be able to at least do one by yourself, in my opinion. So I just want to let y'all know my reasoning for competing. I'm pretty sure other people have that same reasoning. But if you're going to do this, if you're going to go into a fitness journey or you trying to get in shape or lose weight, the first thing you need to figure out is, why do you want to do it? Find that reason why and focus on that reason why. And hell, that's going to get you through the hard times. That's going to be the thing that makes you successful. All right, I'm out. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. I'm out.